on video, and let's rock and roll. Check it out. This morning, Bill Hauser, because you're the man, I'm going to talk to you today. This morning, I got up like I always do, 3:20 in the morning, went downstairs, grabbed a big old glass of water. I grabbed a little extra water today. If you haven't reached the point in your life where you love water, I highly suggest that you do something about that. There's something about an ice cold glass of water first thing in the morning. It does something for the soul. So grabbed a little extra water today, walked downstairs into the basement, and grabbed my Morning 5 planner. And when I grabbed my Morning 5 planner, like I do every day, at the very top of the Morning 5 planner, there's a quote. And the quote is always submitted by an actual member of our community. It's one of my favorite parts of the planner. It's an opportunity for us to connect with one another. And it's always a quote. It's their favorite quote, right? It's not necessarily their quote, like they didn't say it, but it's their favorite quote. And so as I opened my Morning 5 planner this morning, there was a quote that had been submitted. The quote was submitted by Carita, I believe I'm saying her name correctly, Carita Simone. And the quote that Carita Simone submitted this morning that made an impact in my life, so I'm so grateful that she did, is it said, "Even if no one sees me win, I can't see me lose." Even if no one sees me win, me, can't see me lose. I thought, how powerful is that, right? I've heard people say before, like, success is the things that you do when no one's looking, but I never thought about the personal responsibility to not allow yourself to see you lose. What a strong and powerful quote to start today. So I wanted to put that in your hearts and your mind as we're going to be diving in today. We're going to be talking about money and finances and how we can get elevated and all of those things. It's going to be a powerful show for you today. But I wanted to start with that thought right there. It's not about others seeing you win. It's about making sure that you don't see you lose. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Wednesday, aka CMA Day. That's right, Carter Myers Automotive Group, the most amazing automotive organization in the world. If you're ever thinking about changing positions, changing jobs, changing roles, changing companies, I highly suggest you think about Carter Myers Automotive Group out there in Virginia. My boy Scott Simons owns about 5 of those dealerships over there at Carter Myers Automotive Group. And one of the amazing things about that organization is everyone's an owner. Literally every single employee that works for that organization, or associate, I'm sorry, not employee, every single associate that works for that organization, they have shares of stock. They own a part of the company. It's absolutely incredible. So if you've ever want to be a part of an amazing culture, you want to own your own dealership, I highly suggest you head on over to Carter Myers Automotive Group and give them a look. Now, today is also February 2nd, 2022. That's right. It's 2/2/22. And that's what's pretty cool about this year. There's lots of crazy numbers. If you look throughout the calendar for the year, there's lots of crazy numbers. So 2/2/22, fun number this year. If you think about it, a little bit later today at 2:22 p.m., it will be 2/22 on 2/2/2022. Lots of deuces, right? Lots of deuces today. And it'll be even more fun on February 22nd. It'll be 2/22/22. It'll be 2:22 p.m. on 2/22 22. Okay, all right. Lots of 22s and 2s this particular day. But this is the day that's going to go down in history, right? This is the first and the last time it's ever been. February 2nd, 2022. And so I want to make sure we make the absolute most. And I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. We do. We've got my man Roger Allen is going to be joining us here in a little bit with some live music. We've also got Kevin Dabrowski, which this dude, like, I don't like using the words mind-blowing anymore because, like, it's so cliche. But this dude, Kevin, like, completely reconstructed the way my mind perceives time and money. It's literally what he did. Completely reconstructed. Last time I interviewed him, completely reconstructed how my mind perceives time and money. And I know he's going to do that for you today. It's going to be incredible. Now, of course, on top of that, you've got all of the beautiful faces that you know and love, right? Like Scott Tart is going to be here today. I mean, Scott Simons. That's what I meant. Scott Simons, not Scott Tart, but he's our Pop Tart rep. And Marvin will be here with us today from across the pond. Lolita E. Walker is with us today, as you guys all know and love Mrs. Lolita. Ramon will pop in. Alexander will pop in. Candice is in the back mixing all the things. So we've got a beautiful and incredible show for you today. But first, before we get to those particular things, we are also in this series on money, right? We've been talking about money on this show all week. Money, all about them greenbacks, right? Like, for example, Monday, if you remember, for those of you that were here, if you weren't, you can go back. On Monday, we talked about the extraordinary amount of pay that certain athletes get in different professional football leagues. Now, yesterday, we talked about this book right here, The 4 Money Mindsets, right? Discover your money mindset and what to do about it. We talked about that yesterday, if you don't remember. And the 4 money mindsets were: in debt was one, right? Break even was another money mindset. Being comfortable was another money mindset. And then the rich money mindset, right? These were the 4 different mindsets. And we talked about those yesterday, and someone brought some awareness to which category you might fall in. Now, today, what we're going to do is we're going to take it a step further, okay? Because, see, once we are aware of our money mindset, once we have the awareness, we can see it. It's there. We get it. And we don't necessarily think that that particular money mindset is serving us and maybe is limiting our abilities and capabilities to fulfill our potential. Then we ask the question, well, how do we break out of it? How do we get out of this money mindset that ultimately is not serving us? And that's what we're going to talk about today, that and more. But before we do, you guys know what we got to do here on this show. We got to do some dancing. We got to get the body moving. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. An object at rest tends to stay at rest. And so we're going to do some dancing this morning. You may or may not have heard this one before. This one's an oldie but a goodie by my man Tony with the Keys.
I just like the sound.
Back in 2018. Called The Hustler on the Grind.
I'm a hustler on the grind. I'm a hustler. Yeah. You a hustler on the grind.
Wait till the bass line drops.
I'm a hustler on the grind. Yeah, we some hustlers on the grind. Look, Dave said make a video on why I deserve to be a hustling grind con. I said, Dave,
hey,
that's easy.
That know.
Everybody knows that I'm an icon. Yes, Tony with the Keys, Mr. $1 Billion Drive. Since 1986, I've been a hustler on the grind. Put it all on the line.
If we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on the show. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. So I'm looking over on Clubhouse. Over on Clubhouse in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see those two arrows. Click those two arrows. Share this out. You can see that Valerie Oakley has shared the room. Annette with the CBC shared the room. Thanks, Annette. I also see Joyal Mashi has shared the room. Thank you, Joyal. Francis Gonzalez, good morning to you. Renee Moore and Luis Brown and Eric Reed. Appreciate you all sharing the room over there on Clubhouse. Means the world to me. Also over on Facebook, YouTube, all those places. I want you to say good morning to me. And if you say good morning to me, I'm going to say good morning to you. Fair enough? Good morning, Nathaniel Banks.
It's a revolution. We focused on solutions for every situation. Limitless inspiration.
Renee, good morning, Renee. How you doing, Valerie? Great to see you. Robert Dabrowski. Great to see you this morning. What's up, Tanya Luke? I see Dora Maria over there on LinkedIn. I see Rita McGuire and Jacqueline Underwood. Great to see you. Renee Moore in the building. Great morning. I see Michael Huey is here with us today. What's up, Michael Huey? How you doing, Mariana Thomas and James Gordwise? Great to see you as well. Marilyn Wilkin in the building. Amin Jones. We've got
everybody in the group
up in here at a always supporting and pushing. How you doing, Emily Galler? Great to see you. What's up, Lady Bird in the building? I see Scott Simons in a couple places as well. Cassandra's here this morning. That's what's up. Can y'all feel that? Let's go. Get it moving. Get it moving.
Burn the boats. Burn the boats. Burn the boats. Burn the boats. If you's a hustler on the grind, let it show. I put it all on the line and burn the boats. Now burn the boats. Now burn the boats. Burn the boats.
All right, I can probably hang out in that for a long time, but we got a show to do over here, so we're going to keep it rocking. They only give me so much time on this show. But my goodness, Tony with the keys, thanks for getting us moving this morning. Let's go. All right, so money, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about hi crew. I wasn't expecting to see all y'all in here so soon. Great to see you all.
I want to talk about that track. How is it that's the first time I've heard that track?
Right?
Like I was like, what is this?
Yeah, man. That's
Tony is a genius.
He is a genius. The anthems that he puts together is absolutely amazing. We're going to dive a little bit more into Tony here in just a second. But let's talk about a little bit of money this morning. So listen, money, you've been taught, most of us have been taught certain things, right? We've been taught that debit is always better than credit. Maybe you've been taught that, right? You've been taught that you need to buy your home at all costs. Don't rent, you need to buy it. Right? You've also maybe been taught that investing is only for rich people. Saving is a better way, right? You should always save and store your money away. Maybe you were taught that. You were also probably taught or told at some point that money doesn't grow on trees, right? That money doesn't grow on trees. And whoever taught you that money doesn't grow on trees, they were absolutely correct. Money does not grow on trees. Money grows on what's called a cotton shrub. And this shrub is about 4 feet tall. So I guess it's not technically a tree, but this is where money grows. So it's not trees, it's shrubs. Okay. And there are billions and billions of these shrubs that are being grown all over the world. Now you might be like, Glenn, well, what are you talking about? Well, money is made of 75% cotton, 25% linen. So this is the cotton that they actually make the money with. Now, this is where the money is printed, right? And they print as much money as they want to print. There's literally no limits on the amount of money they can print. There is no supply shortage. You might not have groceries on the shelves at a lot of your stores right now, but there ain't no shortage when it comes to money. They can print as much of it as they want, as often as they want, infinite amounts of money can actually be printed. There's no shortage of dollars. Now, I don't know about you, but I was taught a little bit differently. When I grew up, we never went without. My family never went without, ever. My parents always made sure we had everything that we needed. However, there was never any surplus. There was never any extra. Both my mom and my dad and my stepdad, they all did what we call trading hours for money. They took jobs, you standard kind of jobs where you have your 401k, you have your health insurance, you trade hours for money. You get paid by the hour. No commissions, nothing like that. You just trade time for dollars. You go to work at 9 in the morning, you get home, or you get done with work at 5 in the afternoon. And then when you get home, you maybe eat your dinner, and then you go to sleep. And then you wake up the next morning and you go back to work. And you do that Monday through Friday, and you look forward to the weekend. That's the way we grew up. You paid your rent. We lived in an apartment complex. You paid your rent. You paid your car payment, right? You had your car loan. You paid for your groceries. You paid for your bills, right? And then you watched and paid attention to every penny. Where's every penny going? And to be honest with you, you basically stayed in this state of fear or worry or concern that there wouldn't be enough, that there's not going to be enough money, that one day the money's going to run out. We call this living paycheck to paycheck. I don't know about any of y'all, but that's the way I was raised. Now, me personally, I decided, I made a decision that was awesome for my parents to live that way. And I am so grateful that they chose to take care of us in that manner. But I personally didn't want that life. I don't know about you. Like, drop it in the comments, flash your mics on Clubhouse. If that's not the life that you necessarily want to live, a paycheck to paycheck, trading time for money, looking forward to the weekend, just getting through your 9 to 5. That wasn't for me. I didn't want that life. I wanted to live a life with zero fear of shortage. I wanted to live a life of confidence and abundance. And you see, for me, once I made this decision that I wanted to live a life where I was confident there would always be enough, and I could live in a state of abundance, that's where it all started to change for me. You see, I need you to really dial in on this word abundance. Abundance. Write it down. You see, step one to changing your money mindset is to reprogram your version of money reality. Listen, there is no shortage of money. I'm just here to tell you, there is no shortage. It is literally everywhere. I want you to look around you right now. Just look around. Look around. Look to the left, look to the right, look up, look down, look all around you right now. You're going to see walls. You're going to see lights. You're going to see trim. You're going to see paint. You're going to see nails in the wall, screws. You're going to see the lighting fixtures that hold the light bulb. You're going to see floors. You're going to see books. You're going to see magazines. You're going to see boxes, maybe. You can see some dishes, maybe. You're going to see different weights. You're going to see a Peloton, maybe. Some of y'all see a Peloton. And right now, if you look around, you're going to see decorations. You're going to see a desk. You're going to see windows. You're going to see cups. You're going to see papers. You're going to see all of these things. Everything that you see costs money. At some point, $1 money was exchanged for a physical object. It's literally everywhere. How? How is this? How is it that it's everywhere? And here's how it is. Because money is not this piece of paper that you think it is. Do I got any cash on me? I don't even have cash on me right now. Maybe I do. Money is not this piece of paper. This is not money, okay? You might think this is money, this piece of paper right here. Money is not a piece of paper. Money is this. Money is energy. Money is energy that is used to transact and to exchange. This is why it is called, ready, drum roll, this is why money is called currency. Currency, like electrical current. Currency. Money is electricity, it's energy. And so once you begin to reprogram your mind and you let go of the idea that money is this object that is to be acquired and instead ultimately see it as an energetic current that can be converted, can be transferred, can be injected, can be exchanged, the game changes. Listen, energy is everywhere. You get that energy is abundant. You can't run out of it. It can only be converted. It doesn't dissipate. The same is true for your money. Once we shift that mindset to an understanding of abundance and the energy, the electrical current that is actually money, the game starts to change. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue to talk about that this week. Our hope is to elevate your money game. That's the hope. So I want you making more in February so that you can live without fear and instead live in abundance. Fair enough? Fair enough. Let's keep rocking and rolling with today's episode of #Rise and Grind. This is Breakfast with Champions, Millionaire Breakfast Club, and check it out, man. We're so excited. We broke 100,000 downloads in the podcast in less than 75 days. Can you believe it? Have you subscribed yet? That's right. Don't miss out on any of these opportunities to learn from some of the most incredible superhumans from all around the world. Listen, wherever podcasts can be downloaded. I don't care where you go download the Breakfast with Champions podcast. We'd love to see you there.
Oh no, we can't hear you, Glenn.
Good morning, Lolita,
Hey,
Marvin,
you
Scott.
Just a little hit of the switch. Just a little hit of the switch.
What's up, y'all? How you doing?
So good. Go ahead, Scott. Jump all the way in. I know money is your thing. So come on.
You know, I'm getting excited even talking about it. But good morning, everybody. It's great to see everyone on 2/2 of 22. And yeah, let's talk about money. Let's help people get their money right. That way they can have freedom. But yeah, I love talking about this subject, and I'm really excited. Great to see you, Marvin. Great to see you, Lolita. And good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Well, I want to jump all the way in on what you were talking about currency, about abundance, about living in an abundance mindset. So I know we're not interviewing you, Glenn, but yes, I want to ask you a question. How would you tell people to leap into this renewed abundant mindset?
Yeah, so I think it really starts with, everything's a reprogram, right? Mm-hmm. So however young you are, right? You're 20, you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, you're 80. However young you are, you have been storing and collecting information, which ultimately determines your belief system. And just like your computer that stores information for every website that you go to, everything that you type, everything that you click, all of these things are stored. When your computer is not performing the way you want it to, what do you have to do? Well, first you got to run a little defrag, right? We got to y'all know we run quickly defrag. We clear out our cookies, right? Clear out the little cookies, run a defrag. And at some point we say this operating system isn't functioning. I've got to change out this operating system. I got to put in a new one. I need an update. I need 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. So the solution is we have to do the same thing. First, we have to do a defrag, which is really just an awareness of where are things stored and where did they come from and why are they there? And do they make sense and what do we need to get rid of? We have to really look at ourselves in the mirror and say, what do I believe to be true? And that is not serving me. Then we have to reprogram books, audios, TED Talks, these types of conversations, getting in rooms with people that don't look like you, walk like you, talk like you, that are elevated, that are at some of those levels that you want to be at, right? And now it's a process of reprogramming. So I think, Lolita, it's not a light switch, that's for sure. It's a choice you choose, and then you go through the process of cleaning out the hard drive and inputting the new information that ultimately will serve you.
I love that. You started with awareness and knowing that, there's somewhere different that you want to be. The right now is keeping me stuck. I love that. And then reprogramming yourself or feeding into you where you want to be, learning and then doing. Absolutely love it.
That's it. It's crazy. My wife gives me grief sometimes because I'm always like, I don't see stuff anymore. Like, no matter where we go, we'll be driving through the country. I'll be like, golly, man, look at all these fences. There's millions and millions of dollars of fences out here. She's like, why don't you just look at the fence? I'm like, I don't see fences anymore. I see energy, right? I see the work that went into putting up those fences, and I see the dollars that were exchanged for the work, right? And it just starts to shift as you start to renew your mind. You start to look at everything as opportunity, and you see everything in abundance versus lack.
That's true.
No, I love that. It's funny because the analogy that you use there with the defrag is such a great analogy. I was having this same conversation yesterday after the show, because it sat with me, because it made me think about my childhood, and I spent a lot of time growing up with my grandma as well, and like she had 10 kids, so we had like aunties and uncles. It was a full house. Do you know what I mean? And I know you know that what that's like with 8 kids yourself. So when I think back, and we all do this, we struggle to do that defrag because it almost puts a slight on our parents or our grandparents. But it's not that they did anything bad. Right. It was just that they were living in that time, and now we're in this time. So like the analogy you use with the defrag, you need to make that shift to what we have available to us today, with all the social media and everything. Like, just like you say, I'm the same as you, Glenn. I look around and I don't see objects. I see energy and money, and that must have cost quite a bit. You know what I mean? You can see investments, and that's where we need to move our mindset to. But you can only do that, to your point, by having the self-awareness to recognize, I call it tapestry. I don't necessarily use the defrag. I use it a tapestry. It's unpicking and recreating. I love that. You know what I mean? Recreating that. So I love what you shared.
Yeah, man. My mom watches this show every day. She loves Lolita's. She loves Lolita's necklaces. She thinks Scott. She messaged me one day, Scott's my favorite on the show. I'm like, your son's on the show, Ma. What about me, Ma? Right? But she watches the show every day, and I'll be the first to say I am so incredibly grateful for what my parents did to get us to this point. But 100%, my mother's belief system around money was ultimately wrong. Like it was wrong, and I'll say that, Mom, I love you, but it was wrong. And I think she knows and understands and identifies that. Not wrong in the sense that she did the wrong thing, but wrong in the sense that it did not necessarily get her the result that she hoped to get, right? That she's now at a point in her life where, luckily enough, we were able to move them out here, and she's able to pour into my family. We bought my mom a house 5 or 6 years ago, and so she's able to retire. But if it wasn't for that, she wouldn't have been able to, right? The formula that she was on before was not working in that sense. And so it's not that they were wrong. You're right, Marvin. It's not that they're wrong, and there's no shame around that. It's a different time, and we've now seen the results of what that gets. And if we don't like the results, then we got to do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Glenn, the number one reason why marriages fail, which about half of them fail in this day and age, is because of money. The number one reason why small businesses fail is it has to do with the lack of capital or being able to manage money. And what I learned from my parents. So we take a little bit from everybody that we're around. I take a little bit from the Grant Cardones. I take a little bit from Danielle Delgado, from the Liza Borgeses, from my mom and dad. What my dad and mom taught me was work ethic. They taught me, to provide for your family. What I saw them do, though, is they kind of lost their whole goal and dream was to make sure their two sons were provided opportunities they weren't provided.
Yeah.
But that's still a scarcity mindset. And they were very successful. Dad working 5 jobs, mom working. I mean, work ethic was drilled into us because we saw them do it.
Right.
What I didn't want to do is I didn't want to sit around and live in a scarcity mindset. But I took from them that work ethic. I took from them, if you say you're going to do something, then do it. So there's certain things that I learned that I can never replace. And you know what? Their sacrifice for me is what pushes me, because I don't want their sacrifice to go in vain. So if anybody's ever sacrificed for you, if all of our parents sacrifice for us, and if we don't live to the best of our ability, their sacrifice goes in vain. And let me tell you something, that is a heavy burden to carry. Yeah. Because it pushes me every single day to try to be that best version of me possible, failing often. But they're sacrificing. I saw that and I learned from them. But I wanted more of abundance. That's why I got in the auto industry. I had a master's degree and I went in the auto industry. And people are like, why did you go get a master's degree? 1, no one could ever take it away from me. I proved I had ability to do something.
Right.
2, I got in the auto industry just like you, Glenn, because I wanted to make unlimited income. So I got into sales, whether it's real estate or whatever the case may be. I wanted to dictate the amount of money that I made.
Right.
So that's the reason why we got into the auto industry, which I don't know, Glenn, if that's why you got into the auto industry, but that I liked the ability to
control our own destiny, right? Control our own destiny. Scott, I love that. And that is great news that you took all those different pieces from your family and from all the different experiences. And now you're pouring into and mentoring, teaching others, which is making generational impact. And speaking of good news, we are getting ready to have my man, Ramon Reid, come bring us the good news of the day right here on #RiseAndGrind. Ramon Reid, what's the good news?
Well, Glenn Lundy, since you asked, you just had to ask about good news, and I happen to have some good news. Glenn Lundy, good morning. Good morning. Good to be with you, my brother.
Good morning. I thought you might have some good news for us today. I love it.
Indeed. Here we go. And again, shout out to, let me say hi, Glenn, again. Let's see. There we go. And hey, Scott and Lolita and Marvin. Scott, Lolita, Marvin. Yes, good to see y'all too. What a great segment. I'm Ramon Reid, bringing you the good news on Rise and Grind, hosted by Glenn Lundy. Hey, everybody. And thank you for sending your comments. Keep those comments coming. Alexander Gonzalez is going to talk about what you're sharing. So keep those comments coming. We appreciate that and hear them as well. By the way, if you want to get to know me a bit better, you can find out about me at RamonReid.com or on Instagram at Ramon Reid Smart Hustle. So with that, let's dive into today's good news. 3 things I'm going to talk to you about. Tiny mental health habits that can improve your life. We talked about money. You guys may be interested in this. How to lower your heating bill. I don't know if this will help Glenn Lundy, though. He has 47 rooms in his house, so this may not help him that much. But how to improve or how to lower your heating bill, and a remote, as in TV remote, redesign we're going to talk about today. So let's dive into this. Tiny tips to make your mental health better. I'm curious what Lolita thinks about these tips. She deals with this, helps people with this all the time. But a few things, and this list has about 15. And if you want this full list, just DM me something like maybe mental health on Instagram, and I'll be sure to send you this list. But start a gratitude journal. Glenn Lundy talks about this all the time because we have the Morning 5 planner. I have mine right there that I look at as well. So gratitude journals. Take 5 deep breaths. Drink water. Label your emotions. That's really important. We have a host on Breakfast with Champions, Larissa Harrington. She talks about these kind of things all the time. Go outside, stretch, call or visit somebody. Maybe you want to volunteer, plant a garden, watch a comedy. There's all kind of things you can do. Perform an act of kindness and drink some green tea. not Coca-Cola, it says. Drink green tea, talk to a licensed professional. So if you're kind of feeling this or way or that way, and you want to improve your mental health, your mindset, that's something you may want to consider as well. And by the way, if you DM me on IG, the word mindset, I have some tips on that. A lot of them taken from Marvin, in fact, listening to his segments. How to lower your heating bill. This is interesting for all of us. Sometimes your heating bill is high, or sometimes you're just feeling cold air. So a few things you can do: seal up air leaks, go throughout your home. You know, if you see the little opening underneath your door, you may want to put something there. You have leaks of air on the side of your houses, or maybe if your door's open, close it. You know, especially if you got small kids, seal up air leaks, program the thermostat, shut doors that are in unused rooms, wear warm clothing. That's important, and other things you can do. But you want to think how every way you can save money, and not with a poverty mindset, but as we learned from our hosts today, Lolita, Marvin, Scott, and Glenn, how we can live a life of abundance. And part of that is saving a bit. Last good news segment for the day: the TV remote gets an upgrade. This was launched recently at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. Many vendors are redesigning the remote controls. You know, we've gone from those that are really simple with the rabbit ears, nobody has those anymore, to the big ones with all kind of buttons. But you know what? There's a few things that are coming out. Sony has a remote control with a built-in locator and backlight. That's pretty cool, that you can ask Google, you know, hey, where's my remote? Some TV makers are putting remotes that are easier to find, easier to power, and easier to use. So that's the good news of the day. We will see what the amazing team thinks of that. And that's good news. What'd y'all think? What did y'all think?
OMGZ Louise, you know, I was popping in with the gratitude. Yes, we were talking about abundance, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because one of the power essences of abundance literally is starting off with gratitude. Like in this moment, we are not our circumstance, absolutely not. But when you can stand in gratitude and just give a little bit of that up, like, I am grateful for what? In this very moment, your life shifts. And I think that adds on to exactly what we're talking about. Come on now, Ramon, with the good news.
You got to bring it. What do you think, Scott? What do you think about that good news? Any of those jumped out at you?
Yeah, I mean, my family kind of laughs at me. I walk around the house and turn the lights off all the time, you know. So there's times I'll turn off the lights, and my wife's like, "Wait a minute, she was still in the room." But you know, it's just habits that my mom and dad taught me, you know, and that's part of it that I learned from them, right? So when I leave a room, I shut the light off, and it happens to be she was in there that time. But anyway, she forgave me.
That's good. Marvin, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I absolutely lean into the gratitude, and it's funny because back to your point, Scott, that's one of the reasons why I suppose I think of it more, or use the tapestry analogy, because there are definitely things in there that you can bring forward. So it's just about unpicking specific things and changing specific things that you can, you know what I mean? You can then improve everything that you have already. But for sure, gratitude helps you really understand what you have, and the importance of again, something else you mentioned really landed with me: the idea of your ancestors not having done everything for nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you be grateful for the fact that they did what they did, and move forward and build on that and improve on that, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes. Listen, it's so true. I go around and turn off lights. I have a 9-year-old. Everybody knows. I'm like, Walker, why are you downstairs? My light is on. Your light is on. Who is in there? Turn off the lights. Look behind you. So it is something that, you know, we got to do it. We got to conserve energy, but it is something that is definitely passed on. I turn off the lights and I say gratitudes at the same time.
I love that. When we pull up to the house, my wife always, her and the kids, they'll say whose light is on, right? Because you can see from the windows. Like, Willow's got a light on, Joel's got a light on, there's basement light on, there's this light on, so on and so forth. But yeah, man, it does take me a while, Ramon, as you said, to get around and turn off all the lights in the house, because we do have quite a few rooms, but we're incredibly grateful for that, right? And I love that you guys tapped on having gratitude for those that came before us, that paved the way. And I know in this month, this is Black History Month, and it's really about that, right? It's about showing gratitude for those that did some of the really, really hard things so that we could be right here where we are today. We would not be able to sit here and do this show and live stream it with Marvin over in London, Lolita in Maryland, Scott's down in Florida today, myself, all of us, right, coming from all different backgrounds and all different walks of life. We wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for those pioneers and those fighters that came before us and created these situations. So straight up gratitude to all my brothers and sisters of the past that did those things to create this opportunity for us right now. So with that said, we are going to be heading over to my man, Roger Allen. Roger is going to be dropping some live music for us today. It's one of my absolute favorite parts of hashtag Rise and Grind is the artists we get to meet and the music we get to listen to. So Roger Allen, welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind, my man. How are you?
Good morning, Glenn. How are you?
I am so good, man. Where are you coming in from?
I'm up in just south of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Just south of I thought, right when you said Minnesota, I heard the Minnesota. I heard the Minnesota accent. I didn't hear it till you said Minnesota now.
Everyone says I have an accent, and then you go to the south, they have an accent. Apparently, I have a Minnesota accent. So
no, it's not till you say Minnesota, though. It's Minnesota. You can't just say Minnesota. No, I love it, man. I'm excited to hear your music today, Roger Allen. Thanks for being with us here on hashtag Rise and Grind. What are you going to play for us today?
So I'm going to play a song called No Reverse. I talk about money and things, and you got to change your mindset. And back for a while, I always had a lot of regrets and always focused on that negativity. So now I'm taking the present and moving forward.
Yes, beautiful. I love it. Let's go. I'm excited to hear it.
I was spending too long looking in the rear view, thinking too much about what I didn't do, crying on the shoulder of the past that never was. Could have been, should have been, was stealing my time, draining the few lines of my life, and all those regrets sure didn't help my cause. Time to shift my gears and get away. No reverse. I can't change my past. Gonna live like every breath to be my last. Twists and turns, yield lessons learned, for better or worse. One thing's true on earth, this life comes with no reverse. Tank full of gas, heart full of hope. Well, I don't know what the future holds, but I'll take in the present that surrounds me. Moving on, getting on, finding my drive, thanking the good Lord I'm alive. Well, this forward living really may have saved me. So I'll leave yesterday in its place. No reverse. I can't change my past. I'm gonna live like every breath could be my last. Those twists and turns, yield lessons learned, for better or worse. One thing's true on earth, this life comes with no reverse. No reverse. I can't change my past. I'm gonna live like every breath to be my last. Twists and turns, yield lessons learned, for better or worse. One thing's true on earth, this life comes with no reverse. No, no reverse. No reverse. I was too long looking in the review, thinking too much about what I didn't do, crying on the shoulder of the past that never was.
Yes.
No reverse. Come on, life. No reverse. Thank you so much for that. And you know what? It's such a good reminder that don't look back. So I want to ask you right now, what gave you this mindset to just say, you know what? I'm in the right now. No reverse.
Well, I had a lot of things when I was younger. I was forced to play sports. I always wanted to do music, and I just started doing music a few years ago. So it's one of those things. I have the choice now. I'm not under someone else's roof, so I get to do it. And then you just look in the mirror one day because I got frustrated saying you're in there having social hour with people, and they're like, oh, I could have tried out for the team. I would have made the team if I would have tried out, or I would have done this if I would have. Well, you make the team, you don't try out. I don't want to have any of those regrets anymore. And I'm a little bit later in life, but like I say, I can choose what I want to do today and move forward, and nobody can tell me different. It's up to me to choose my path.
So good.
Yeah, that's so true, Roger. And thank you for sharing your talents with us today. And I agree. I tell people all the time, you have to let go of the past. The past is the past. And there's a lot of people that are listening to us right now that are still, they're ashamed of maybe what they've done in the past. And what advice would you give to someone that's listening to you that still wants to accomplish something and just hasn't taken that leap, like you becoming an artist? Talk to that person and convince them to jump, to go.
Well, here's what I would say. People can comment and say whatever they want about you, but that doesn't control you. Only you can control you. So look at yourself and control what you can control. Don't worry about the naysayers. Only surround your people with positivity. The people who help you and push you to be better, those are the people you got to keep in your circle. The negative, you got to turn it off. I know it's very difficult. It's really hard, but you have to do it. Just turn it off and focus on yourself, because you can't help other people if you can't help yourself first.
I love that you shared that. I'm going to hop in with a quick question. I really enjoyed that. And I understand what you're saying about being able to make the choice now and doing what you want to do at this point. But in terms of your writing, so what would you say that you enjoy to pull from when you're in the creative process of writing the songs that you're singing now?
The songs that I'm singing, I'm trying to take real world situations like that for me and make it universal enough to where everyone else can understand it. So it's not such a personal song that people go, ooh, whoa, I want people to understand it and maybe touch their lives, even if it's on a small scale.
Yeah, and I think I'm with you on that. That can sometimes be a little bit difficult, right? Like we want to share vulnerably and from the heart and with emotion and all of those things. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we can connect and we make it about that person that's going to have the opportunity to share that energy with us, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and it's a delicate balance. It's like, gotta talk about me, but it needs to be about you. How do I talk about me but make it about you? So you write all your own stuff, perform your own stuff, and you said it's just been a few years that you've been rocking this?
Yeah, I've been. I learned to play guitar about 7 or 8 years ago. I tried my first show back then, and I can say it didn't go well at all. I thought I could play guitar better than I did, and it was really awful. And but people see me today and go, "Wow, man, I can't believe you can do this now." But it was a learning experience, and I was humble about it again. And that's another thing, you got to take everything in stride. I mean, you're never going to be perfect, and you're going to make mistakes along the way, and hopefully as you grow, you make less of them or less life-changing mistakes, and have success.
I love that, man. I want to learn to play the drums, and I've been telling my wife this for 3 years, but for some reason she will not give me a drum set. Every year at Christmas, I keep thinking there's going to be a drum set under the tree, and every year she's just like, not happening. We got 7 kids here in the house. She's like, it ain't gonna happen. But someday I'm not gonna be living under her roof. It's gonna be my house, and I'm gonna make a decision to go out there and learn to play the drums. I'm just telling you that's happening. Roger, will you do me a favor? Will you come back a little bit later and do another song for us?
Absolutely, I will. Thank you.
That would be awesome. Thanks, Roger. I appreciate you so much for being here. That, my friend, was Mr. Roger, or my friends, was Mr. Roger Allen. He's amazing. And next up, we've got Kevin Dabrowski. Now, I met Kevin a while back in a clubhouse room. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to say that this guy will blow your mind, because that just doesn't put it right. He will reconstruct your mind. It's what he did for me. He reconstructed the way that I perceive things like money and time and all of those things. So I could read this like crazy bio on him, but really he doesn't have a bio. If you go to his website, it'll just say that Kevin believes that you can become someone new and it answers like lots of silly questions. And that's why I love you, Kevin, because you are so unlike anybody I've ever met in my life. And now that we get to see video to like face to face, you're actually much better looking than I gave you credit for. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. You're a good looking guy, man. Welcome to Rise and Grind. Oh, I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him?
Nope.
Are you muted, Kevin? Are you muted? No, he's not muted in StreamYard. Well, Kevin, come on, man. We need you. I need you, Kevin. Oh, I need you. Oh, you don't want me to be. I don't want me to sing. The suspense, yes, as Kevin is coming through with the sound. Maybe change the setting on the mic, Kevin. Maybe it's a different mic. Do you guys remember? Were you guys in the room when Kevin joined last time on Clubhouse? Lolita, you remember that?
I do. I remember 73%. But you know what else is right behind him? Let's talk about the backdrop, right? Isn't that beautiful?
Is that downtown Canada or something?
It's downtown somewhere. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, but we'll make it up on the fly. It's where we want to be.
I'd love to know while we wait for him to hop in. You mentioned that sort of the impact he had on your mindset. Just expand on that a little bit. I'd love to know your thought process, because I guess it will dive into a little bit about what he does.
Yeah. So Kevin, you know, really talks about, and I think a good example, you know, from an analogy statement, or like a metaphorically speaking, right? There's a machine shop, and the machine shop produces millions of dollars of product every day. And the machine breaks down. It comes to a complete halt, and the company's losing millions of dollars, right? Every minute this machine's not running, they're losing so much money. And so this guy comes in, they call the expert. The expert comes in, he looks at the machine, he analyzes the situation, he pulls out a screwdriver, he walks over to the machine, and he turns a screw. And when he turns the screw, the machine pops back up, comes back to life, and starts producing. He then walks over to the floor supervisor and he hands him a bill. All right, he says the bill will be $10,000. And the guy says, $10,000? All you did was turn a screw. You were here for 60 seconds. He says, I'm going to need you to give me a line item of how this is $10,000. And so the guy pulls out a piece of paper, writes something on it, hands it to the supervisor. The supervisor looks at it, says, give the man a check for $10,000. What did it say on the paper? It said turning the screw, $1. Knowing which screw to turn, $9,999. Right? And this is what Kevin. Oh, now we're kind of getting an echo. Is that from you, Kevin?
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Kevin? Yeah, we can hear you. And this is what Kevin really helped bring to the front of my awareness instead of the back of my awareness, is that we tend to want to trade time for money when in reality, no one really wants you to take any of their time. They just want the result. They want the result, and that's what they'll pay for. And they'll pay for that result based on, you know, the impact that it'll make on them. So, Kevin, where'd you go? We heard you there.
Hey, and Glenn, just remind Kevin to turn his Clubhouse volume all the way down. He doesn't need to be his volume on Clubhouse. Kevin, just turn your Clubhouse volume all the way down.
This is, I feel like such an amateur here with all this audio.
Well, Kevin, we can hear you. You can turn your Clubhouse volume all the way down. We hear you loud and clear now.
All right. But is there echo on you guys, on your end?
There is a little bit of an echo, but that's okay. I think we can work through that. Are you muted on Clubhouse? Yeah, just mute on Clubhouse, Kevin. Just mute on Clubhouse. There you go. Yeah.
On Clubhouse.
Yep, they can hear you. They can hear you through me.
Okay, cool.
So good morning.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh, now we're getting more feedback. So that is what Kevin helped me to really look at, is what is the value that we're delivering, and how actually can we deliver that value in faster amounts of time, right? Like I used to sign up for coaching. I'd say, hey, come sign up for my coaching. We're going to do an hour a week, every week, And the person on the other end's going, I don't want an hour, give you an hour a week. That's a lot. Like, can you give me the result in 15 minutes? If you can do it in 15 minutes, I'll pay you 10 times as much. Right. And that's really what Kevin helped me to see is if we're focused on the result, then and we build value around that instead of trading time. So talk to me, Kevin, real quick on this model. I want to talk about the initial model, trading time for money. Share that model with me and how successful can people be at doing that?
Yeah, I guess that's is everything okay? Volume,
Yes.
audio?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the secret is to stop following that model, right? To stop following
But
this
why?
trading.
What's wrong with that model? That's the model we've been doing forever. Trading time for money. Come on. What's so bad about that?
Well, what's bad about that is that we artificially constrain our income earning potential.
Mm.
And every time we take money from our own wallet and we burn it, we end up limiting our impact, our freedom, our abundance, and our ability to actually live into self-actualization. So we weaken ourselves. Glenn Lundy gets weaker and weaker the less he charges aligned with the value that he's delivering to the world.
Mm.
Yeah, and all of us do.
Yeah.
The problem with the money thing is that, we're programmed from an early age. For me, it was flipping burgers at McDonald's, for $3.80 an hour. And we're taught that you have to put in time to get the dollars. And many of us came from family environments where our mom or dad had the same thing. They had a job where they were paid per hour. So we have this conditioning that's totally bogus.
Right.
And we just have to, it's our responsibility and also privilege to be able to challenge it and go, oh, wait, that's right. That's all just a construct, and we can completely shift into a new way of looking at that stuff.
I like how you speak to it's really like detrimental to ourselves and to our health when we are when we are reducing our potential, right? When we're not living congruent with what we feel as the energy exchange is equal, right? Whereas the effort that we're putting out, what we're getting back, that energy exchange is equal. And when we live below that, whereas we're just trading something in the ultimate result, it's really an unhealthy space. And so I love that you speak to the fact that it's not about, oh, you just need to be making more money. It's about you're literally doing damage to yourself if you don't step into your full potential and value, right?
You know who else? You're right. You know who else you're doing damage to? I actually want to go one layer deeper here. So for the coaches and consultants among us, it is actually predatory to charge a fee below an appropriate level. So it's not only unhealthy for you and your family and the world and the community, but it's also unhealthy for your client, because they're not going to show up with the energy and the commitment that they need to be able to create this transformation, because you've signaled to them that this thing is it's not that important. It's kind of nice, but it's something that you can kind of like fit in around other stuff that matters more. Money has energy. So when we charge a fee that's inappropriately low, we hurt our client.
Wow.
Because at the end of it, they have not achieved the transformation. They haven't got the result. They haven't shifted into the next level of being their true self that's going to unlock this thing that they crave. And it's our fault. We actually hurt people by charging them too little. So it's unloving to charge a low fee, an inappropriately low fee.
Wow. And this is where the old saying of, when you give somebody something for free, they typically won't do it, right? Like if you give away free ticket to an event, or if you give away free coaching, free courses, any of the free stuff, they typically won't. But when they invest in themselves, now it takes those things to the next level. And if really we want to get results, then it's our responsibility to make sure that people put that investment in themselves. Kevin, you work with tons of people in these areas. How did you get into this type of work? Like, what was the revelation moment for you where you were like, oh, this is dumb, and this is what's the right way to do things? How did you reach that moment? When did that happen?
I was in the window cleaning business for 10 years, from 12 years, from 1999 to 2010.
Now, with your backdrop there, that looks like that could be a lucrative business, window cleaning business.
I actually never did high-rise building because I'm afraid of heights. I continue to be afraid of heights. I'm not usually one to use self-limiting language, but empirically, I have been confirmed to be afraid of heights.
Okay.
So I always did like low-rise stuff. So like, car dealerships, which you know a little bit about, homes, storefronts, that kind of stuff. And I learned early on that I could walk into a giant BMW dealership that some other company had been servicing for years, and I could present a value proposition using the proposal and using specific language and specific promises and deliverables and guarantees and social proof. And I could secure that client for more money than the previous company was charging, and it wouldn't take me any longer than the previous company was taking to clean it. Or you could start to use techniques or methods that would actually shorten the time you could do to complete the task, and you could charge more for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the heck is happening here? Like and that's when I started to kind of unlink this time and money thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that opened my eyes to the fact that, in fact, it's not just time that's disconnected from money. It's all kinds of things. I mean, it's market rates are irrelevant, internal costs are irrelevant, desired profit is irrelevant. And there's 9 common mistakes that we make around pricing. Time is just one of them. But it was firsthand with my little service company that I started to kind of notice that, maybe whatever that was, a long time ago. And then I started to apply it to my clients' businesses, and I discovered, oh my goodness, this is true of every single business.
Yeah,
there's all these broken kind of assumptions and default programs that run when we set the price that are not serving anybody involved.
So what's step 1 to breaking out of that?
Oh, great question. So this is kind of scary. Step 1 is asking yourself 3 questions. Question number 1, how much do you charge? And it's amazing how many people will even hesitate to openly, directly answer that question. Step 2 is, how did you come up with that price? How did you come up with that price? And then the third question is, what's been holding you back from charging more already? Like, why have you been dragging your feet on raising your prices? And that will create some transparency around what's actually going on inside your head. So sorry, those 3 questions, I shouldn't have said step, I apologize. Those 3 questions are step 1.
Right, I get it.
And then step 2 is to look at these 9 different toxic pricing formulas and understand how they work and why they feel good to us, and this kind of like false comfort they give us. And then to lean into step 3, value-based pricing, and to understand what that looks like, to kind of readjust how it is that we determine what an appropriate fee for our contribution to the client's success would be.
Yeah. Now, Kevin, we can't dive into this in depth here on this particular show, but how can someone learn more about those 3 steps? Do they just go to kevindabrowski.com? What do they need to do?
They can go there, and you can find my links to social media on there. I recommend you follow me on Instagram.
Okay.
Because in the next few weeks, I'm actually coming out with my next book that's focused primarily on coaches and consultants, the context of pricing, but it's appropriate for any service-based entrepreneur.
Love it.
And the book is crazy affordable because the ebook version is available.
But don't make it too cheap, otherwise it's not valuable. So with that said, I know Scott wanted to jump in here, and the rest of my crew, Scott, Marvin, Lolita, you guys, this is Kevin. Kevin is a dear friend of mine, and his mind is just absolutely brilliant. So it's an honor of mine to be able to introduce him to you. Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Kevin, it's nice to meet you. And you just exude this confidence, brother, that when you speak and how you interact is awesome to experience. So I have about 175 associates, and I mentor them for free. And I did a class. I've done 2 or 3 of them where I just sent out an email, said, if you would like to be mentored by me, we meet every Friday. We talk about wealth, health, relationships. We don't get into religion. We don't get into a few things. But anyway, when I put it out there and I said anyone could sign up and there's no charge, it not a lot of people signed up and they didn't take it serious. So I went to a different strategy, which I've learned from people on Clubhouse, because I run car dealerships, but I don't coach people at this point. People reach out to me and they ask me if I would. And I said, look, I'm not set up to do it. And I'm not going to do anything half-assed. So I'm just not going to do it. But anyway, so I asked the people, now I took a different strategy. I said, okay, it's a limited time to sign up. I'm only taking X amount of people, and you need to explain why you deserve one of these seats. Is there anything else you suggest I do in order to get engagement and participation up based on something I'm not going to charge them for because they work for me?
It's like Glenn said, you know, like we don't appreciate
what to charge them, Scott. He wants to tell you to charge them. No, go ahead.
Glenn's right. I mean, we don't appreciate what we don't pay for. If we don't pay, we don't pay attention. You know, and if it's too low, then we think it's not good.
True.
So it's funny you said you're not set up to do it, but you do feel you're set up enough to be able to do it for free.
I think it's part of them working for me, Kevin. It's part of them. It's like the value add. I have people that move from throughout the country, as Glenn knows, and he did the same to come work for us. So part of it is I care about the people. But these last class, like half the people would show up. But then there's people that will pay thousands of dollars to be in that seat. So really, I'm going along with exactly what you say. But I put in a limited time, a limited amount, and why you deserve that seat. And I think that I'll have a much better class, and I'll report to people about the engagement and how it went. But I didn't know if there's anything else that I missed. But thank you, man, for nice to meet you. I heard you on Clubhouse. Amazing, amazing share.
Yeah, my pleasure. And yeah, stop giving it away for free because people aren't valuing it. So let me ask you this. Let's just go one layer deeper, Scott. If somebody let's just say they pay $3,000 to be in that room and in that seat, are they going to pay attention to every word that comes out of your mouth, and are they going to take action, and are they going to experience the transformation?
For sure.
For sure. And yet when you give it away, none of that stuff happens. In fact, they might go home and go, oh man, like I wanted to go to Scott's thing, but then the baby cried and the dog pooped and the power went out, and I was like, oh, and then my client complains and I missed it. I'm so sorry I missed it. And guess what? Nothing changes in their life.
Right.
And the next day they wake up and go, yeah, see, like I'm not ready for this, and I'm kind of a loser, and I'm hopeless. I don't know what I'm going to do, and it's never going to change. That's what I mean about hurting people. Like we hurt people when we don't signal to them the treasure that's in front of them and that they have an opportunity to be part of and experience.
Maybe I could charge them, and the money will go to a charity.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, but don't feel you have to give it away. Like if you want to give it away to a charity, amazing, but they're not going to come because of the charity.
Right.
Like do it if you want to do it.
Right.
But don't do it, don't feel bad about also accepting the wealth. I mean, the wealthier you get, the more your impact expands, right? And your ability to do so. And I'm just going to go 30 seconds deeper. I have my eye on the clock here, but Scott, have you ever had a conversation in an airport in like 5 or 7 minutes with somebody and they've said to you, oh my God, Scott, you just changed my life. Like you just changed the way I look at the world.
Yes.
So never think that you're not ready or that you're not set up to do it. If you have a phone and a Zoom connection and a working camera, like I did not have, and a working microphone earlier today, then you're good to go. Like you don't need anything else. Like you are the thing. You are the source of the value in that situation.
Well, I'm going to apologize to my host for hogging you the whole time. So Lolita and Marvin, I apologize. But Kevin, thank you so much.
I want Kevin to talk to me every day of my life.
I have a brand new program, Glenn. It's called Talk to Kevin Every Day of Your Life. It's very, very well priced.
For real, man, it resonates. And Scott, something that he said, or that you said, I really care about them, is what you said. And in your current belief system, you caring about them makes you want to not charge them. Where what Kevin's saying is we have to shift that. If you care about them enough, then you will allow them to invest in themselves so that they can ultimately get the result. And that's really the shift, right? That love is not giving, love is exchanging in a way that we actually get to a result. So I just love that. I love that. All right, there's lots of things going on in the private chat over here on the side. I don't know exactly where we're at.
I just want to say one thing before we, because I'm conscious of time. Literally, hopefully Kevin can jump into Clubhouse after we finish here, because I would love to continue this conversation there. I think this is something that a lot of people struggle with. That's all I wanted to say. Over to you, Glenn.
Yeah, Kevin, we're gonna hang out on Clubhouse from 8:30 to 9, and we would love for you to be a part of that if you can, if it works for your calendar. Otherwise, we'll just keep rolling. So where are we at? I need a quick note. Are we flipping to Alexander? It's 8:10. Okay, Kevin. Yes. All right. Good. Thank you. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my man, Kevin. Kevin, thanks for being here with us on #RiseandGrind. Are you going to meet us on Clubhouse? Will you meet us over there? Will you hang out?
I'll pop over for a bit, till about 8:45.
Okay, I'll see you over there. Yeah. Thanks for being here with us. Kevin Dabrowski, you guys follow him, connect with him. This dude's amazing. I'm telling you, he will shift and shatter your perspectives on a lot of things. So with that said, I want to know what you thought of Kevin so far, and I want to know what you thought of Roger. And so I'm thinking what we need to do is we need to head on out into them straights with my man Alexander Gonzalez and see what it is that you all have to say about what's been going on right here on #RiseandGrind. Alexander, how are you, sir?
I'm awesome, buddy. How are you doing today?
So good. Loving your velvet hammer look you got
going
on.
The velvet hammer look got to come once a week. Sorry, just turning off all the sounds so that I don't hear you in all my ears. What is up, Alexander Gonzalez? Coming to you live. I still love that commercial, so I'm always here for it. Coming to you live from St. Petersburg, Florida. I am not the fat dad across socials, and I'm loving the comments today. Mariana Thomas says abundance everywhere, and I love starting the day off with a bunch of comments about abundance. Renee Miller-Layer says abundance is everywhere again. Valerie Oakley says currency. Michael David Huey, currency. Kimberly Williams, money is energy used to transact and exchange. I'm loving all this talk about money. I love what Christina Howard here says. She said money is energy that is used to transact and to exchange. That's why it's called currency. Money is energy. Shift your mindset and the game will change. Rania A says, yes, charging less will hurt the client as we won't be able to give them our all. And she continues on to say that I'm an attorney. When clients ask me to reduce my hourly rate, I tell them that if I do, I will end up hurting their case and will not be able to give them all the attention and hours it needs. And I thought about that. What if you went to your surgeon, if you needed life-changing surgery, and you said, hey, can I get a discount? Do you want a discount surgery? I don't think so. I think you want to pay for the value that you need in order to be comfortable to give that money away so that ultimately you can live the life worth living. So everyone's talking about abundance. Everyone is talking about all the good things that we're talking here on money and currency and the exchange between time and money, and not doing that, but also understanding your value and knowing, do you really want a discount surgeon cutting into you? I know I don't. What do y'all think?
Wow. Do you really want a discount
Xander.
surgeon? That's what's up. Go ahead, Lolita.
I don't want a discount surgeon. Alexander, I love that. You know, my question is always, what is the comment that you would have left on social today had you had the opportunity?
Well, that is my comment that I didn't leave on social, was the discount surgeon, because the attorney really, I thought that put that into perspective, right? Rania A is an attorney. Clients come to her and they're like, hey, I need you. You're the best. I can't afford you. Well, guess what? She's the best because she gets paid for the value that she brings to the table. Same things when it comes to surgeons. At the end of the day, if my life is on the table, I want the man that's getting paid the most and is motivated to do his best, the man or woman, I should say, because they are putting in their value because they're getting the reward. Now, do I think it's different when it comes to sports? Because I actually had a college professor that, to your exact point yesterday, Glenn, about athletes and professional athletes and movie stars who actually believe that no one should make more than 19% than anyone else. 19 times, excuse me. He figured this all out, that if the society was in society, that at the highest echelons, you made 19 times more than the lower echelons, that society would somehow work out. He was a crazy white hair, like Albert Einstein type professor, but he was brilliant. Right. And I love that concept. For me, I think we're not paying for the value that the men on the field are giving us in football, or men and women in other sports as well. I think we're paying for the entertainment, much like a movie and a movie star. So is it different than a surgeon? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm still showing up to the movie theaters and I'm still wanting Oscar-winning performances.
We'll pay for that, right?
Exactly.
They take us to another world. Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah. So Alexander, when is this hair product coming? I mean, Marvin and I could use some help. I mean, I think you've got the longest hair on the set.
I do. Out of everyone on the team, with the exception of Candice, I have the longest hair. I even beat Lolita on length. I got them inches, Lita. I got them inches. And so, I really do got to figure that out, because I actually want to. And right now, I'll tell you something. I'm very unhappy with the few of the hair products that I've been using. I just bought some more, and I think they changed something. My hair is not looking how listen. With privilege comes responsibility. I know it looks good, but I like I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my hair.
And I think they changed something. And it's funny because one little shift in ingredients, when it's something you know and love, like, right? Like for me, it's cereal. They keep changing a tiny little ingredient in the cereal. They don't tell you, but I know it. I'm like right now, just so you know, Honey Smacks right now, it ain't the old recipe. It don't say nothing different on the box, but it ain't the old recipe. There's a difference in texture in the little Honey Smack. There's a little different taste. They're using a different ingredient. I'm telling you, that is the case. But no, on a more serious note, Alexander, what you were talking about is so incredibly important. And the one thing I wanted to add to make sure everybody gets this is, if you are cheap and you are the type of person that is always looking and beating people up for discounts, just so you know, everyone is going to try and beat you up for discounts. They are going to treat you the same way you treat people. I pay sticker. I am a retail buyer. When I go buy a car, it's easy for hey, that's the one I want. Just get it to my doorstep and make it easy. When I go into the Best Buy or any of those places, I want that one. I'm not going to sit there and coupon you to death. No offense, TM. I know TM said he's a couponer. I ain't going to coupon you to death. I'm not going to beat you up for $500 off. I'm not going to do any of those things, because I don't want people to do that to me. So just want to
You know what I love about that, Glenn, is, I'm privileged to coach a pretty big team worldwide. And when everyone comes to me and saying that they keep getting the same objection, whether that objection be that it's too expensive or whatever the objection is, I always turn it around and ask them, what do you believe about the objection? Do you believe that objection to be true? And oftentimes when they say, well, it is a little bit expensive. And this is what I've realized, that projection is reality.
Oh, yeah.
If you're projecting it, that will become your reality. And so sometimes when we get certain objections in different fields that we're in, stop and think to yourself, do I agree with them? Or do I see the value in whatever product I'm selling to be so high that I know that they're wrong, and all I've done is not express the value in a way that they understand it, and now I can make the shift. If you agree with the objection, you've projected the objection and brought into your life.
Boom, mic drop moment for Alexander Gonzalez right here on #RiseAndGrind. If you're on Clubhouse, you can hit the little clip button right there and you can clip that last 30 seconds. Put it in the archive. Stick it wherever you got to stick it. Share it out on all the socials. Let people know that Alexander just lit you up this morning. And you're like, dang, bro. So, hey, your hair might have been a molecule off, but your mind and your wit brought it today here on #RiseAndGrind. Alexander, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for keeping us connected with our amazing audience out there in them digital streets. We love you, bro.
See y'all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to be right back with Roger Allen here in just a second. He's going to bring us some more tunes, and we're going to wrap this whole thing up. And then we're going to head on over to Clubhouse, where we're going to have an amazing conversation with Kevin, followed by, just so you all know, today on Clubhouse at 9 o'clock, Lisa Copeland makes her way back. She hasn't been on Breakfast Champions for about 6 months. Danelle Delgado makes her way back, and Elena Cardone, as well as Sharon Lecter. They'll all be there at 9. So make sure you stay tuned over on Clubhouse. With that said, shoot to a quick commercial, and we'll be right back with Roger Allen. This is Breakfast with Champions, Millionaire Breakfast Club, your opportunity to get a seat at the table. I mean, check it out, man. Breakfast with Champions is everywhere nowadays. That's right. We've got the podcast. We're on places like Wisdom and Fireside. We're going to Green Room, and we've got YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. Wherever you can join us, we would love for you to come get a seat at the table. Become the champion you know you are inside with Breakfast with Champions. Yo. Yes, we are everywhere, tapping into all these different spaces, and we appreciate you tuning in today. We've got my man Roger Allen. If you missed him earlier, he brought us the song No Reverse, which was really a metaphorical song on this whole thing called life, man. We got to keep pushing forward. Ain't no going back. So, Roger, what are you going to bring to us now?
I got something even more positive for you. COVID's been kind of pushing us back, and I got to tell you, I haven't had a vacation in a couple years, so I kind of wrote what they call Sync, kind of a commercial placement song for vacation. It's called Let's Get Away, because I got to get away.
Let's do it. I got to get away. I want to hear it. Roger, bring you to it. Let's go.
Let's go somewhere we've never been before. Now's the perfect time to explore. Chase the sun until it sets and let the stars catch our breath. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. Leave our normal day-to-day behind. Keep our destination undefined. Make memories every mile with a laugh or a smile. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. We'll open up our hearts and minds. It's so great to be alive. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. Let's go, come on. We'll open up our hearts and minds. It's so great to be alive. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away. Let's get away, let's get away, let's get away.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Let's get away. Let's get away. Okay, I'm not gonna sing. I'm gonna leave it singing. Marvin, what you got on that?
Go ahead, Marvin.
Go for it, Lolita. Go for it.
Okay, this is real quick. Between us leaving stuff in the past and us getting away and us getting right on board, your method of bringing out the emotion is just so amazing. Anybody with a guitar that can tell a story, listen, I'm all in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. One other point I have to say, the last song that I did have a co-writer, Brett Stair. I should mention that because I do write with co-writers sometimes, and I want to make sure I include them because they're part of my circle. I talked about keeping my tight circle, positivity, and helping people move forward. So
absolutely. Go
I
ahead,
was just
Mark.
going to jump in and ask a question around, because I can feel that positive energy in the way that you're writing the songs, and also the bounce that you have within the structure there. What's next for you in terms of like the next big thing that you really want to get down into a song or get down on paper? What's next in your mind?
Yes. So for me, it's all the positivity stuff. When I'm playing guitar and I'm writing, I'm singing. Like, you probably can't tell, but I get the goosebumps. I don't know what they call them in the South, but I call them goosebumps or whatever they call them. The hair stands up on your arms. It's kind of like a rush and a high that you just don't get. And I can't explain it. It like tingles, and then it even goes. I don't have any hair, but if I did, but it tingles up in my head. Do you ever get that like rush?
Yes.
Like, it just makes you feel good. Like you made someone laugh or cry in a good way or smile or be happy. I always get that rush when I see people, especially playing live, and I can feel like, especially I feel like I'm connecting with them. It's just a super rush. So I'm just going to keep writing songs that I think make people think about things positively and moves them in a good way.
Awesome. I think an album of those songs would be absolutely amazing.
And they are goosebumps. They are those things, like that feeling that you get that just gives you that adrenaline that makes you just want to do more. I have a question. I know Scott wants to get in here too, but where do you go? Where does your mind take you when you start to play? Do you go to a different place, or no, you just are right there in the moment?
So it's funny you say that. Sometimes I play with a partner and he's such a good singer and a good harmonizer. Sometimes when I'm playing, I'm actually playing and I kind of look out to see if people are jiving, and because I'll play something from the 50s all the way to today. I have a huge broad range of music that I like to play. And when I see people connecting, sometimes I'll be playing, and it's like it's when you're driving at night and you already missed your exit and you're still driving it down a 2-lane and didn't realize like what happened. I sort of I kind of check out, if that makes sense. I feel like I check out of my physical being and just kind of get I call it energy, and I get out of my body, like almost like an out of body experience. And that happens. And sometimes I'm even where I know it's my turn to sing, and literally like a split millisecond, the words come back, and I kind of come back, and I'm like, whoa. It is scary because it's like I almost missed the words, Yeah. So I do get that kind of out of body experience sometimes when I'm in that element.
Yeah.
I love it, Roger. RogerAllenBand.com. You guys connect with Roger Allen. Download his music. Support him. Cheer for him. Connect with him on all the socials. Roger, thanks for being with us here on hashtag Rise and Grind today. We really appreciate you.
Thanks so much for having me, you guys. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Absolutely. You do.
I will.
Same.
Thank you.
Woo, 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 woo. All right. Another incredible show, another incredible episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. Kevin is going to be with us over on Clubhouse, to where we can chat with him a little bit more, which I'm super excited about. I'm guessing Roger Allen, I think he's on the stage too, so he'll probably be over there. And so we can chat for a little while over on that channel. And then again, a little bit later at 9:00. Man, I'm super excited. Danelle Delgado and Lisa Copeland and Elena Cardone, they're all going to be hanging out in Clubhouse as well. So for those of you that are here watching on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and so on and so forth, go take a quick bathroom break, grab yourself some water or something, and then make sure you hop on over to the Clubhouse app, because we got straight fire for another 90 minutes, and then actually Nate and Jude after that. So just clear your calendar for the next 2.5 hours. That's all I'm saying. Whatever you got going on is going to have to drop, and you're just trading time for money anyway, right? So come hang out with us. What do you guys think?
So Glenn, how are you get to go to 10X Ladies? I thought it was only for the ladies. How are you able to go?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I have learned more in my life from powerful women than I ever had from any dudes. So
for sure,
I'm just saying, like 10X GrowthCon in March will be dope. Like, that's cool, all the flashing lights. But I'm excited to learn from these powerhouses this weekend. For legit, for real. Like, most of my mentors in my life and the most impactful people in my life have been women.
Yeah, I agree.
I would agree with that. I would second that. I would second that.
I just thought it was all for all ladies. I just didn't know how you got in. I didn't know if you got to wear a wig or you use Alexander's hair or what.
Dude, the stage, they're all like, these are my people, man. These are my people. Lisa's up there, Danelle's up there, Barbara's up there, Nicole's up there, Sharon's up there, Elena's up there. Like, this is literally my crew. So I got the little extra back, the little invite. You just got to know the right people.
Hey, Glenn, will there be a Rise and Grind with them? Like, will you be live with them on Rise and Grind or some platform, bringing them into a show maybe-ish? I don't know.
We might be able to make something like that happen. It's actually funny that you say that, though, because also I'll be interviewing Lauren Riddinger on Friday on Fireside. So I'll be in Miami with all of them, and then I'll be interviewing Lauren Riddinger also, who is a billionaire powerhouse, another powerhouse woman. So amazing. Candice, speaking of powerful and amazing women, Candice, what's up?
Good morning, everyone. Well, I've already said good morning to all of you. It's been a good show, right?
It has been a good show. For those of you guys who don't know, Candice is our producer. She's behind the scenes, the whole show, keeping everything on track, keeping everything rocking and rolling. Even when she's on the screen right now, she's still telling us how much time we have left before we got to get out of here. She is amazing. Candice, this has been super, super fun. Are you enjoying this? What did you think of today's show?
I liked it. I love when our artists are able to come on and perform live. I just, it's just something about it being really raw and real. And like, it just shows like the authenticity. So I can't speak this morning. Clearly I need more coffee. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy that we're doing this live. Like, it just brings a totally different level. And I love that we're going live on so many different platforms. People can listen audio only, they can watch the video. And that's just, I just think we're giving people options.
Right. Yes. Giving people options. I love that. Lynn Luckett says Candice is the GOAT. We are all in alignment and agreement on that. Hey, we're going to be hanging out over in Clubhouse to talk about money, and the other things from today's show. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Ramon, thank you. Candice, thank you. Lolita, thank you. Marvin, thank you. Scott Simons, thank you. Alexander, thank you. I love you. Roger Allen, thanks for being with us today. And Kevin Dabrowski, I love you as well. All the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. Head on over to Clubhouse. We'll see you over there, and then we'll be back here again tomorrow morning to do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind.